What up, everyone? This episode has been brought to you by Jam Hits. Jam Hits is a one-stop shop for all of your multimedia needs. Whether you're an artist in need of some studio time, recording a music video, if you're in need of printing out some artwork for your upcoming album, show, or merch, Jam Hits is the place for you. We also have many different podcasts and radio shows in which you can promote yourself in the confines of our state-of-the-art studio. I guarantee you, once again, Jam Hits is the place for you, so go give them a follow on Instagram. This is for all of my sneakerheads out there. I get all of my sneakers from one place, and that is Inland Empire Sneakers. Are you tired of paying those extra fees on certain websites? Are you tired of missing the beat on the latest drops? Are you tired of your shoe plug being outrageously overpriced? Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, go give Inland Empire Sneakers a try. That's my primo, and let him know that Santi sent you. Once again, Inland Empire Sneakers on Instagram. Go give them a DM, go follow them, and for an extra discount, let them know your boy Santi sent you. Welcome to another episode of Santi Section. This one is a very, very special one. Y'all motherfuckers are in for a treat. My guest is the homegirl thug, Angel. How you doing, homegirl?
Hey, what's up? You know, I just want to give a shout out to all my people. I appreciate you for taking the time to come and interview me. You know, we went and chopped it up a little backstage. The energy's good, and I'm excited. I'm just excited.
That's right. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're a hip-hop artist, entrepreneur, activist, youth advocate for several key causes in our community. If you don't mind, right off the bat, like what's your line of work when it comes down to all of that?
Man, I have a lot of line of works, and you know what? I'm equally passionate about everything I do. So aside from the music, you know, that's where my heart and soul lies, from the hood, on the hood passion and everything where I grew up on. But I'm also passionate about my people. So I do go and advocate. I do go and make my name known in those environments as well, not just within our communities and everything and in the music. You know, I'm equally passionate about everything I do. So yeah.
So I did my homework on you, homegirl, and something that threw me off, because I do research. I'm a researcher,
Right.
and something that I saw in your profile where it said president chairman of LACOE. I looked that shit up, and I'm like, LA County Office of Education. Yeah. So if we could start off with that, what's that all about?
You know, just product of my environment, coming up out the struggle, and I could speak for not just within myself, just a lot of mothers who went through this type of struggle before me. So, you know, LACOE, what I'm the president of, has a lot to do with our juveniles and our people incarcerated within the brown and black community. So my son ended up, you know, getting incarcerated. And because of that, I became the president. You know, I had to win 3 elections to gain my position. I started off as an advisor at Barry J. Nidorf. And from advisor, I gained my presidency at Los and it's for all. I'm the president for the Los Angeles County Office of Education for all juvenile halls, all camps, Polytech, and Los Angeles Art School.
That's
you know,
right. And,
yeah.
and what's the message that you're spreading within those movements?
I'm trying to bring awareness, you know, to a righteous cause. I'm trying to bring awareness to what's going on within our juvenile halls, to let everybody know, like, hey, you know, we need to really pay attention to what's happening to our youth here. So what I represent is I represent the youth. I represent my son. I represent a lot of kids incarcerated, to bring change and programs to properly rehabilitate, to end the cycle of return for prison. Ultimately, we trying to break the cycle, the prison cycle. That's
right.
what we do.
That's right. And when you're talking about the prison cycle, obviously you're basing it off of your own experience, you know, and it inspired you to do more than what you were doing already, which was your music. And we'll dive into that here shortly. So, how long has this process been going on for you, if you don't mind touching on that?
For a few years.
Yeah.
You know, I started off like anyone else would start. You know, I went and did my research. I started writing letters. I wanted to be involved more. You know, as as an involved parent in your child's life, who wouldn't?
Exactly.
You know, so what I do is I found ways to make sure, even though they try to excommunicate a parent, even though they're trying to separate me from my child, what can I do to go be involved in his life? And whether it be being a part of the organization or not, I did what I had to do, you know, as a mother, and ain't nobody could downplay or try to put me down or anything. Everything I do is dedicated to my kid. My kid's always been my main priority. And if you're a real parent, all real parents will stand behind me. All real parents will stand up for their kids. So that's what I do.
There's not a damn thing that a parent won't do for their kids, correct?
Exactly.
You know
Don't mess with mine.
No. I feel that, homegirl. I mean, we've been vibing out for a minute here before we start recording. You know my story, and I feel that. You know what I mean? Like, I've lost a lot of sleep over my child, so I could only imagine how much fucking sleep you've lost over years. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's not like, man, not just the loss of sleep I have over my child. There's mothers who've been through worse things than I've been through.
Absolutely.
You know, and past in the generation we live now, the type of punishment our kids are subject to is nothing compared to what it was back then. You know, so there's a lot of mothers who's been separated from their kids 30 years.
Damn.
You know, and I'm feeling this little separation from my child. I went and advocated. I became the president. I went and did my most for him. And thankfully, you know, I'll see my son within 2 years. But a lot of kids in my son's position, a lot of mothers in my position haven't seen their kids in 30 years.
Exactly. And just to like draw out or illustrate for those of you listening or watching on how it is, and especially for those parents, you know, it's like your kid gets put away at a certain age, right? And then they come back as an adult. So it's like you lost a key part of them being a kid. They lost a key part of them being a kid. You know what I'm saying?
That breaks my heart.
You know, and I'm sorry.
It's true. No, only
it's
because
true,
it's
homegirl.
true. Yeah, you know, the most precious resource we all have is time. So that's why your punishment is time. You know, so they took my son's time away from him. They stole it from us.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could be, and I'm going to just give a lesson to a lot of people right now, because a lot of people really don't know how this game is. Let's just say all of us right here are kicking in. We're all friends. And let's just say, you know, one of your friends, whether he be intoxicated, whether he be high or not in the right state of mind, goes and does something, it's going to affect everybody. You know, once everyone comes in and they do their investigation and they know who was there and who was responsible, you are responsible. So a lot of people are innocently sitting in prison for circumstances outside of their control. Because let's be real here. You couldn't control my actions as much as I couldn't control yours.
It's a trickle down effect. That's
Right.
what they call it. You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up about all of that, you can't fucking depend on the system in which
Never.
we're fucking paying for the system already. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like we're fucking paying, 30% of our fucking income for the fucking system, right? Or 40%, depends on how much fucking money you're making. You know what I'm saying?
$1 million.
Yeah.
It's $1 million per inmate a year. That's how much we pay.
So, and we're fucking paying for all of that. Not just that, but for parents that have sick kids, it's the same shit, homegirl. You know what I'm saying? And that fucking irks me. And what's fucked up, it's like, yeah, you're paying these motherfuckers to do their fucking job in a very good mannered way, but they're not fucking doing their job. And then yet you still have, as the parent, you have to fucking do their fucking footwork.
Exactly.
Thank
you. Thank you for that. And it's very true. There's a lot of truth to that words, because as taxpayers, we do fund this. As a taxpayer, you fund for these institutions to exist, and it's up to them to run them accordingly to policy and regulation. But it will get you mad to know that's not how it's being run at all. So let's just say you a business owner and you paying employees to run your business, and they not running your business up to your standards. They taking your money and running with it. But at the same time, they don't even care to go look to see what's happening. And it gets so bad to the point where you got innocent kids losing their life because of it, because of the lack of staff, because of the lack of um, being in non-compliance, kids die.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on in the juvenile halls, and that's what the taxpayer dollar is funding.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some people that are working in those fields that think they're saving lives, but they're just indoctrinated into that fucking system where they just don't fucking know any better. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Right.
fucked up.
It's true.
So with all that experience that you've dealt with, or horrible experience that you've dealt with, like what's been like your biggest lesson out of all of that?
Dang, that's a deep question.
I'm going deep, girl.
I know. That's deep. Probably one of my biggest lesson, and this is just me being honest, my biggest lesson I learned from the situation I'm in is the power of influence I had as a music artist to my whole community. I'm over here, prior to who I am today, and, going back to my younger years of rapping, I was one of those artists that was pushing a generation towards that.
Mm.
All my music was based off of hit 'em up and, kill, kill, bang, bang, and thug shit, not realizing the power of my words to influence others down that path until you walk down that path and then you understand that path and you lose something you love the most.
Mm.
So that was probably one of my biggest and hardest lessons as a music artist, So it took me a while to transition into the artist I am today. I had to lose a lot to be who I am today, to be able to share my message and speak on a more mature level.
And on that note, do you feel like, how can I put it without incriminating? Do you feel like obviously when you're in the booth,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You're in character. A lot of people don't understand that, but I understand the influence that you're putting out there, or the influence that you may be causing or creating. But with that being said, do you feel like not only did it change your character, but did it really change you as an individual? I mean, I don't think you're cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You're a mom. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real.
Right,
You're a mom. You're a human being.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? You're a human being. So do you feel like you were really thugging it out in and outside the booth? Do you feel that way, or do you think it was just your music that was influencing you?
You don't really know me then. No, only because we just became mutual acquaintances.
Yeah.
But I feel what you said about that first comment. Okay, you know what?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thugging it out.
Mm-hmm.
I never ever portrayed for myself to be somebody I wasn't. And you know what? It did make impactful changes. And I can be a doll here today to understand and admit to my mistakes. I'm not ashamed of them or anything. It's just what I grew to accustom. It's all about survival. I did what I got to do to survive.
Exactly.
You feel me? And, the conditions out here in the hood, it ain't like what you go through on a daily basis. So, yeah, everything I talked about, I was about.
And reason why I asked that, because the average consumer, right? Like I grew up in the fucking heyday of hip hop, in the heyday of fucking gangster rap. I remember when fucking a DPG dog food album fucking released a CD. I would go to fucking Warehouse Music, go buy it, and I'd see white motherfuckers go buy that fucking CD, like first in line. You know what I mean? Those motherfuckers, I don't think they saw shit the way that you're explaining it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think they saw that it was blood, sweat, and tears, or fucking you fucking spilling your guts on some real shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they were just more like seeing the entertainment value of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was asking that. Like for motherfuckers that are out there, like listening to you right now and seeing that it's not just hip hop, it's not just you being behind the booth, it's a fucking way of life. So they don't understand the fucking sacrifice that comes behind that.
And it's a big sacrifice. And that is so true. It's what they push out on the platform. But when you really think about the industry and a lot of those artists who push those albums out were young too.
Exactly.
And I guarantee you they wouldn't be spitting the same message they did back then at the age they are now.
Exactly.
Because, they say it takes how long for a mindset to fully develop? And that's why they changed laws. That's why people did a lot of studies about how a person's mindset develops. And I could agree with it too, because with me, I was stomping that world mad. And it wasn't until when I got older that I matured into having understanding. And, you go through the struggles, you put in your work, you go through the consequences, you see your homies buried. You lose a lot of family members to the system. You lose a lot of family members to the streets. And then that's where you gain your understanding and maturity to be able to come and speak the words we able to speak today.
Exactly. A lot of people don't understand that you're a true product of your environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's levels to this shit. And what I mean by that, no offense to like the way you were brought up, no offense to the way that other people were brought up, but your maturity level is different than a motherfucker that grew up on a silver spoon. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like you have to learn shit on your own. I had to learn a lot of shit on my own,
There's different levels to this game.
Yeah, and I mean the way I see it, I mean there's a lot of different levels, different fucking avenues. There's also, the conspiracies of how that agenda was being pushed and motherfuckers grabbed onto what you were saying, motherfuckers grabbed onto what other people were saying, but then there's the motherfuckers that knew better and they still fucking did it because they wanted to fucking get that fucking check,
That's true. There's certain people who move with the crowd. They move with what's popular. I'm not the type that's gonna follow someone. I was born to be a leader.
That's right.
And there's a lot of truth to what you said, and I do realize, I do see it today in the industry we are in today, and a lot of people lost value and moral.
I mean, just on a light note, I'll give a good example. Like, we have fucking kids, dance clubs, all that shit, teaching people how to crip walk. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I wish I was in that dance club.
Yeah, no, but you get what I'm saying. Like that's how much time that's how much of an influence that era left on us. But motherfuckers don't know that we were getting killed over doing some shit like that. If my kid was fucking crip walking at the age of 8, I'd be fucking handled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in our
era. Let's be real though. Crip walk is a dance and it's a way of life. Crip walk represents the blue side. You also got the blood side. But it's when you really break down the system and understanding of how the streets were made, it's no difference from the blue Democrat and the red Republican.
Yeah.
Straight up. So that's where we pull from it. And we had to dance to it. But it's just representations. It's where the division was created and segregation was created because we peeped our game from the government.
Exactly.
And that's where the blue rag and the red rag came from. And a lot of people don't know this. It came from the Democrat, which is blue, and the Republican, that is red.
So, and a lot of motherfuckers will never agree to what I'm about to say, but it all descends from religion. And it came from religion, then into fucking politics, and then into the streets. Right. You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up, they blame it all on the streets when it fucking came down from all them motherfuckers up there.
Oh, for sure.
Historically speaking. Because I know you told me you're a historian.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the original gangs, let's fucking be real. It was religions.
Oh, and that's so... I'm not going to argue with that, only because we picked up what we saw. Mm-hmm. And if you go back in history, when people would try to teach the true history, they will go and chop off their tongues. You wasn't allowed to speak. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't based off their agendas. It goes back to the slavery times, and if you do go back and look in the pages of history, it's super bloody.
Yeah, we were taught the wrong history.
Oh, for sure. We were fucking taught but the wrong history. What we also were blessed with? We blessed with the freedom of our free will to go and search for truth.
Exactly.
But a lot of people don't go do it.
They don't.
They want to go and speak for a culture. They want to go and portray themselves to be the head of everything, but they don't even know the truth about history. People don't even know the true history about gangs. If you go look to see why gangs were formed and created, it was to protect our people. And now it transitioned from protecting our people to killing our people. How did that happen?
It was I once saw a meme where it said you throw red ants and regular ants into a jar, and there's a motherfucker shaking it. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
And that's how it is. That's where it happened.
I'm glad you brought that up.
However, the red ants and the black ants are those that are less fortunate, like yourself and myself in our upbringing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know who taught me that lesson you just said? It dates back to Scotland and England, where you got two queens going at it together. You got Mary, Queen of Scots, and you got Queen Elizabeth, who was a bastard born and shouldn't have reign. And you know what John Knox did? He set both of them up. He went and attacked Queen Elizabeth to make it look like it was Queen Mary, and he attacked Queen Mary to make it look like it was Queen Elizabeth. And you know what he said? It's like putting two spiders in a jar. All you got to do is shake them up and then sit back and watch the damage.
You're absolutely right.
It's true.
And a lot of motherfuckers don't do this. If they've read The Art of War, one of the first steps to fucking creating a war is taking out one of your own. You know what I'm saying? So all these motherfuckers that are out to get us, I'm not saying they're out to get us. Hey, don't ban us. We're just conversing. We're having a fucking good time, right?
No, right.
No, but you know what I'm saying? That
it's
historically
true.
Speaking, that's the way shit has worked.
The art of strategy.
Yeah, art of strategy. And it's fucked up because in this day and age, that's what they are doing. They're exploiting something that you held at a high regard, something that I held at a high regard, and they're exploiting it, making it look like it's a cool thing to do, but motherfuckers don't know.
It's subversion.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a saying, subversion, the subtle powers of subversion is to win over the hearts and the minds of the people. When you win over their minds and their hearts, they will give away their land freely. And that's what they did with us. So now, you know, it goes back to Donald Trump. What's he trying to do? Win the mind and the hearts of the people. And you know what? Whoever runs for president, you're gonna win over their minds, and they're gonna give away their land. It's what our people. Well, no, it's not what our people did. We did fight. Our people did fight, and what a lot of people who don't know in history was our people was winning.
Yeah,
we was winning, and this is where everyone's gonna learn where the name Tupac came from. Tupac was an indigenous. He was one of our people, and that's what Afeni Shakur named her son after. And you know what? He was a revolutionary. He was fighting for the people. He was a leader for the people, for the indigenous people and many tribes. And they were losing. The government was losing to our people. So they went and had a meeting with him. We don't want our people to die anymore. Cease fire. Mm-hmm. And you know what our people did? We agreed. We ceased fire. But after we ceased fire, they chopped his head off. They ripped his arms and legs off. And they stuck his head in the middle of the village on a pike. So that's just a reminder to never compromise. And
I'm going to add on to that. If you guys want to do some research, look up who Tupac Amaru was.
Right.
Peruvian revolutionary. Yeah. And she's speaking all facts right there. Yeah, it's true. That's the reason why she named him that, because that wasn't his government name.
Tupac's mother named him after our people, not only because they've divided us. Yeah. She named him after us to connect us. So that's why when you hear it, to live and die in LA, it wouldn't be LA without Mexicans. That's why his name came from us. Yeah. And a lot of people today don't know that or realize that. And that's why we got a lot of love for him, because he didn't represent just one culture. He represent all cultures, and you could go throughout his interviews and he will say that from his own words.
You know, it's a trip. I had another guest a while back ago that we touched on that topic, and I was, right now that we're talking about musicians and all that. I mean, it all, how can I put it? It all combines, you know what I'm saying? It all gets linked, you know what I'm saying? But with him, I was telling one of my guests, it's a trip how whether you're a Chicano rapper,
Right.
a hip hop artist, a lyricist, a poet, whatever you are, you look up to that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
because we can like maybe your cup of tea and my cup of tea could be different.
Right.
But where do we meet?
With Tupac.
With Tupac.
Ain't no one can say nothing.
That shit's a trip, right?
Right. Not only because he's a lyrical genius. Not only that's his words, his leadership. And you know what amazed me the most about him? He was so young preaching this.
He was fucking 25.
And you know, when he was 25, he didn't even look his age.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've seen that example because I know where you got your name from, but we'll dive into that in a bit. But I know you've seen that example where it's like Oprah Winfrey, when she was 25, what was she? She was a regular reporter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, when he was 25, what was he?
Exactly.
He wasn't even, he wasn't anywhere near to where he ended up at.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that fool for sure. He is in my opinion, he's very, when it comes down to, he's a household name, but unfortunately he doesn't get the props that he deserves when it comes down to all of that because he was 25. So of course it gives you that idea like, okay, he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because me at 25, I was a fuck up. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he was a fucking kid and he did all this shit.
That.
And we're here talking about him 28 years after he passed.
That's so true. And you know what? A lot of people try to compare themselves. Oh, this artist did this artist did that. Where was that artist at when they was 25?
Exactly.
Did they cut that many records? Because if you're going to extend Tupac's life, he would have been bigger than any artist where they at today, right now.
I agree.
Because he was trying to get into politics. He was trying to get into help our community. He was trying to set up concerts for the kids in our youth. If they have great grades, you're going to get entrance to the concert. Who wouldn't want to go see Pac perform?
And this is going to lead me into our next topic, but I'm going to end this part of it with this. It's like they don't want, and they, I know the audience isn't ignorant. So when I say they, you guys know who they is. They don't want to see us unite. They don't want to see us link up. They don't want to see us share the same table. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's the truth. And that's a motherfucker that was trying to do that.
That was important.
You know what I'm saying? And he knew the code. He knew the code. He knew who was above him. He knew what tribe was above him, what tribe wasn't. A lot of motherfuckers are not going to know that, and they're going to see that first. Like, oh, no, this person was this type of person. No. That motherfucker knew the code.
It dates back to his mom, you know?
Yeah.
It dates back to a black woman naming her son after an indigenous man.
It definitely does.
You know, so it's deep. It's really deep. If you go and understand his true story and his true history of why he does what he does and how he became so powerful and why they took him out because of it. Yeah. Because you know what? And it wasn't just him. You could have this same conversation with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. They took out everybody. Cesar Chavez.
Shit. Yeah.
You know, and it's to prevent us from becoming one. It's to prevent us from teaming up together. Ultimately, if people go through history, you're going to learn that these nations couldn't be the nations they are today without an alliance. It was because of another nation that gained them their power. Mm-hmm. So we need another nation to strengthen our nation. We need to build these alliances, and we too busy building alliances with the wrong people.
Exactly. We are gatekeeping from ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Like I feel like unity is very vital and crucial for us to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who you are. Now, like I told you earlier, like you may not be my cup of tea. The homie behind the camera.
I'm not your cup of tea. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey.
What you trying to say?
No. I'm giving an example. The homie Mike behind the camera may not be my cup of tea, right? But in unity, we're fucking way stronger than the motherfuckers we're never going to be their cup of tea. That's what I was trying to get at.
No. You know what? We learn from people's mistakes.
Yeah.
We learn from what didn't work in the past. There's a saying, the definition of insanity is repeating the same mistake over and over again, expecting different results. We can't be making the same mistakes over again. So whether or not it might not be your cup of tea, people got to learn to step outside the box. People got to learn to pretty much remove all the brainwash, all the propaganda the white man fed down our mindsets and step out of it. But that it goes back to being a leader and people following a crowd. I'm not one to follow no crowd.
Exactly. And it comes down to how can I put it? Just not keeping up with the Joneses, being your own person, getting comfortable with the fucking uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And that leads me into my next topic in which I know you've been making some rounds, you've been making some noise, and here we fucking go. Damn, we're getting banned after this episode, Mike. My bad. But I'm gonna start off with my opinion before I touch on what's going on. You know what I mean? We were talking about being in the youth. We were talking about being young. Like I said, if I'm talking some shit that I don't know about when I'm 25, and you give me a fucking platform like this, guide me. You know what I'm saying? And I think what you're doing with the whole situation right now, in which if you want to, in which you want to touch on right now, if you want to elaborate, there's a certain person out there right now making some noise, calling himself the Mexican Tupac, calling himself the leader of our people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I
didn't hear that.
In my opinion,
who's a Mexican Tupac?
No. In my opinion, a lot of when I look at people saying some shit where I'm just like, ooh, it's cringe. It makes me cringe, or it may not make me cringe. I still give them the benefit of doubt. Like, all right, the homie has something, but he's young. Where is he going to go with it? Or is there someone there to guide him on his team? And obviously we're talking about the lack of unity, people that are pushing that agenda of not uniting. And I've seen you and posts that you've posted recently in which people are getting at you because, go ahead, elaborate.
You know what? And I'm just going to say one thing. You can't call yourself a Mexican Tupac and then go and disrespect Pac's culture. Just straight up. And so I never heard that. This is the first time, but it would be an insult to what Pac represents because, Pac, he didn't come out here and disrespect our culture. He showed love to our culture, and for me, you know what? My problem with this was everyone's entitled to their own personal views, but speak for yourself. For me, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for my whole culture. And before you say anything,
okay, there's a young rapper out there that's making a lot of noise out here in the area. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to knock him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a young kid. He's making some noise, you know what I'm saying? In which he made a statement in which he's stating that he would never date a woman outside of his color.
Or his daughter.
Or his daughter. He wouldn't allow his daughter to date a man outside of his color.
Right.
In which, in my opinion, if I'm on a platform stating something like that, I'm going to straight up tell you, like, look, it's not my cup of tea. That's why I'm doing it. It's not because the homies are telling me not to do it. It's not because my pastor's not telling me to do it. It's not because fucking Donald Trump or Joe Biden ain't telling me to do it. I'm going to tell you it's because it's my cup of tea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if my daughter ends up doing that, it is what it is. I ain't going to fucking do shit. But it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel that. But you know what? That's why communication skills are so important. When you solely speak for yourself. But don't go on podcasts and speak for everyone like that's how it is. That's how it is in where I live. No, that's not how it is where you live. Only because I come from the same streets of where this individual lives. And I never grew up with those type of views. So now I did speak up against it. I did, the only reason why I did speak up against it is because my family's half brown and half black. And now you got people saying it's a disgrace to the Mexican household. So now you calling my people a disgrace. And in all reality, and a lot of soldiers will agree with me, we have it mixed up within our rankings. So we can't sit here today and say we don't have black and brown mixed up together within manpower. Straight up. As far as they on our front lines, they going to represent us, but they not allowed in our households. And for me, the reason why I did speak up, because I'm that family that has that in my household. I could speak on it. You know, and now people want to say I'm a sellout. In order for you to call me a sellout, man, I would have to sell out against my own family. That's a real sellout to me. I would have to come and agree with him and pretend and, like I said, go with the crowd and go with what's popular and pretend that that's okay when it's not. Because you know what? We're in 2024. Let's not pretend that we not mixed already.
It's a trip that we're still talking about this in 2024 as if that's wrong.
Right.
But then we're saying it's okay to do some other shit in which we know it ain't fucking right.
It shouldn't even be a conversation. It shouldn't even be an issue anymore. But yet it is, and here we are. And you know what? We all get what he was trying to say. You know, I know coming from the SUV, it's not too often where you will see Black community in there because it's segregated for sure in the San Gabriel Valley. I come from the San Gabriel Valley, and I understood what he was trying to say, but poor choice of wording. And if you're gonna come and speak for a whole community, man, I don't know who his management is, but they need to go sit down and have sessions with him to help him speak on certain things.
And on that note, at his defense, you know what I'm saying? Because here I am trying to be devil's advocate or being devil's advocate, you know, a lot of shit, because you just told us a while ago, growing up, you were just on that hit 'em up shit, right?
Right.
But why weren't you on that Brenda's got a baby shit? Keep your head up. You get what I'm saying? We weren't exposed. Only the bad shit is exposed in people, especially now. So at his defense, maybe that could be the case. Perhaps. Maybe some shit was taken out of context. Maybe we didn't see the full clip. But I understand where you're coming from. I feel like right now the
communication skills. That's all.
Right now an agenda that's really being pushed and that really fucking kills me, homegirl, is I don't know if you know this term, but it's called tribalism. There's a difference between being proud of your culture and fucking tribalism. Tribalism is where you're going to take the red pill and you cannot fucking agree with shit that the blue pill is fucking feeding you. You're going to take the blue pill and vice versa. You get what I'm saying?
Is there a third option between the red and blue pill? Only because, you know what? I'm not going to take nothing if I don't know what I'm taking. Yeah. I'm not going to allow them to come and tell me these are your options. I'm going to go find another option, you know?
And another key part is as well, like, depending on the environment that you're in. But in my opinion, with everything that you just stated, in which I agree with you, it's not cool. Right. It's not cool for a kid or a youngster to not have anybody fucking letting them know like what time it is when it comes down to that shit on a public platform. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like right now we're saying like, no, we don't hate the kid.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
at all.
Like we're just like, damn, who the fuck is accountable for this? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I wouldn't need the system is accountable. The system is accountable for his way of thinking. I don't blame him. He was system impact. Mm-hmm. Systematically impact from I've seen some of his interviews. I know he's been incarcerated since he was really young. So no, I do not blame the person. I do not blame his choice of words because at that young age, and it's what my son's going through, they stripped his education away from him. They taught him this is what is right and this is what is wrong. So now he's coming out here saying, oh, this is wrong, when in all reality, if that's the case, you shouldn't be working with the people you're working with today because you offending them too. And there's a lot of people in this industry today who have been trying to build this bridge between the black and brown people just for somebody to come on the platform and saying, you're not welcome in our household.
Mm-hmm. And I think in the era that we live in, the biggest mistake that you can make as a person on a public platform is overgeneralizing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I tell you, hey, homegirl, you're brown, straight up, that's it.
Right.
And you shouldn't do more. Or fucking this hat is only black and I overlooked this part. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that it's a very big mistake being on a public platform, and you have to be aware of your surroundings at all fucking times these days because of that. We have fucking cameras everywhere.
That's why schooling is so important.
Very important. Being educated.
Exactly. You know why? Because, I go to school for political science because I want to go do something for my people, my culture. And you know what my school taught me? It taught me how to work with other cultures because you could easily disrespect somebody by not understanding their culture. And just because, and people came at me with this, like I'm a sellout and you should just stick to one way of doing things. Like, nah, we live in a very diverse
We're in
country.
California, especially in
We
California.
live in a very diverse country. To just respect your own ways and your own personal views of how things are supposed to be, how you think things are supposed to be conducted. No, you got to embrace everything. Because at one point, we got to learn to coexist. We giving the white man what he wants.
Exactly.
And I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of seeing my people lose. I'm tired of our statistics showcasing we 700% increased mass incarceration, and people don't even understand that number. We are 700% increased mass incarceration. 700% increase mass incarceration. So that means 700% of our indigenous men and the black man is incarcerated. We are clearly losing.
Absolutely. And here we are fucking tripping on COVID numbers.
No, here we are fighting each other.
Yeah,
Here we are fighting the wrong battle. Here we are, people lacking education, lacking the knowledge to go and speak.
Yeah.
You know, and not only that, here we are, people trying to reference the Bible, but the Bible doesn't teach that. The Bible doesn't teach division or hate. So, you know, people need to learn to practice what they preach and dive deeper into them books before talking on them books.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And earlier you said something else that really, really grabbed my attention to, where it's like, there's needs to be more choices in life than just blue or red. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, you know, and that's the reason why I don't vote, because of the shit that you're going through. Because I guarantee you, whether it was a red administration or a blue administration that was fucking handling the situation in which you're dealing with, it would still fucking be the same outcome. It's all part of the fucking plan. It's all part of their fucking system. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true. And you know why? That's why Pac tried to create his own political party.
Yeah.
That's why we were trying to collect. That's why Martin Luther King tried to create his own political party. Cesar Chavez, a lot of people tried to create their own political party to go up against the Democrat and the Republican. But you know what they did? They murdered them. They took them out because they don't want that political party to be formed. Yeah, we do at some point need a representative, a true representative of our communities to go and speak for our people, to be a true representative, not just our people, for all people. We need our alliances. People need to go read a history book. People need to go learn monarchy and what made nations strong, because they weren't strong on their own.
And you know what? I feel that what's crucial in that message that you just shared is we cannot depend on that shit. So we have to create our own communities, to where it's going to be a movement that shifts away from that bullshit. Because there's nothing but bullshit, nothing but fucking garbage in the bullshit that you were just expressing. And not that you were expressing bullshit, but in the bullshit that you were just talking about.
Right. You know? And you know what? And because of Donald Trump, he's going to, if he gets elected, he's just going to open the door for a lot of felons to run for presidency. Straight up. And that's what, you know what? I never supported Donald Trump because I know his agenda.
Yeah.
I've seen his rallies. I study politics. I know what his end game is, and it's not a good one. But regardless of what I say, the people still ain't going to listen. They still going to vote for him because America craves strong leadership.
Damn.
But because now he's a felon and he's going to run for president, see, he just opened the door for all felons to run. And now they should allow all felons to vote too, because that's going to open the vote for the prison system. Because, you know, once you in the prison system, you're not allowed to vote. They strip a lot of your rights away. So if they're going to give them the privilege to run for president, they should give back some of those privileges to our people to vote for a felon president.
And if I'm not mistaken, in California, you could vote if you're a past felon. But that being said, damn. Fuck yeah. No, that's good shit that you just said. That I never thought of it that way. However, look, I'll be honest with you. When it comes down to election times, the last few elections, I have not voted for a motherfucker. I'll vote for the local votes because those are that's the local votes. For those of you that don't know, that's like the fine print. You know what I'm saying? The shit that they have the presidency up here, mayors over here. But the fine print is the fucking laws, all that, the bills, you know what I'm saying, that they're
It's so
trying to pass.
true.
And that's fucking more important to fucking read than it is your fucking for the fucking puppet that's up there at the top of the fucking list.
They don't give us qualified applicants.
They don't.
They don't.
They won't.
And Joe Biden's the perfect example of that.
Exactly.
Only because, you know, here you got Donald Trump, who was who was like the richest person in America. You know, his name is everywhere. And you know who's going to run against Trump. So now they put Joe Biden, who was equally rich, but everyone couldn't stand Trump's racial views. Everyone went and voted for the unqualified president.
Exactly.
And you know, it's deeper than that because, you know, when Barack Obama started the ICE prisons, you know, he created a whole new prison system for immigrants. So Joe Biden, through his presidency, opened the border to fill these ICE prisons. So if you understand politics and if you go back, Donald Trump, he drastically expanded the ICE prison system before we even had the problem. They built the capacity to house people in these prisons without them being within our turf. So then Joe Biden went and opened the border, and now we have all these immigrants that came into the United States.
Yeah, you're right. And what's fucked up about that message?
They working together.
Yeah, and what's fucked up about that message that you just shared, a motherfucker from the left will hear it and they'll think you're pro-right. A motherfucker from the right will hear it and they'll think you're pro-left. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, homie, we're not saying that. You just said it at
facts.
That last part that you just said, they're working together.
Right, it's facts. And nobody can be on the left or right. The truth is the truth. If you go do your research, you're going to learn that Obama, yeah, he did create the ICE prisons.
He created the cages.
Right. But Donald Trump drastically expanded it. And now we have over 250 ICE prisons in the United States. And out of nowhere, while Donald Trump was not even president, Joe Biden, he went and opened the border. And now he flooded our whole country with immigrants to fill those ICE prisons. So now Donald Trump, he's going to come on his presidency and collect those people. Now, it goes back to the juvenile and prison system because the kids to be incarcerated are worth $1 million. So it's like they exchanging one group of people for the next. And that's how I take it. And a lot of people don't really get that. A lot of people don't understand. If you really go dig deep and dive into what they really want, and in the Florida rally, Donald Trump announced death penalty to all drug dealers in prison. And we have 700% increased mass incarceration. What's that going to do to our people? He's going to kill out two cultures because of war on drugs that they created. And then they created the ICE prisons. Joe Biden opened the border, flooded our country with them. It's an exchange.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just my opinion.
No. It's more than just your opinion. You're stating a lot of facts because you do your research. So for those of us that don't know how to go about this, what's, as an individual, me, myself, as a parent, you yourself as a parent, them as parents, or them as individuals, what's the solution and how to go about it as individuals?
The solution is, man. You know what?
And
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
You know what? And I've been thinking about this question a lot. What is the solution to this? You know, and the solution is, in my opinion, I can't just go and collapse the whole economy just based off truth, because based off my words, and I could show you how the prison system was created, how it's run, and how it took advantage of our people. I could collapse it with just words, but people don't realize that it was due to economic crisis that the prison system was created, and they needed slavery. They need people to work for free. So, you know, to find a solution, in order for me to collapse this whole system, I do need a solution in place. And I've been searching for a solution, but what? So for me, yeah, I'm still trying to figure that question out. I don't have the solution yet. I do know what the problem is. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what the solution is. The solution is Youth Justice LA. That's the solution. It's an alternative towards incarceration. Is to rehabilitate our kids, to turn our kids into working to working men and citizens to be, regardless, here we all are today. We got to learn to coexist. We all mix together, and we about to go to war. We're not ready for no war. These kids, they just listed the draft. That law passed where they going to start drafting people. Nobody's ready for this war. And don't expect our people, the same people they enslaved, to go fight this war. You know, it's just, it has a lot to do with the subversion and population control. And I'm still searching for the solution.
Yeah. I feel that when it comes down to a lot of the things you just stated, as far as the war that we're not ready for, I feel that that's a key reason why what we see happening at the border is happening right now, because we're feeding people, you know what I'm saying, like this, like, hey, come over here, but we don't know at what price. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We don't know what price. Like, hey, yeah,
it's a trap.
I'm gonna house you, but you're gonna fucking go fight for me.
That's
You're
not only that,
you're
they
gonna go
separating
represent our gang.
families.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're separating families. So
You don't see them on the front line.
Exactly. That's
They
that
want
part.
us on the front line. They hate us.
Yeah, exactly.
But they want us to fight for them.
So there's that part of it, and the other part about the solution, in my opinion, it goes to the same example that I gave earlier. We got to unite as a movement. You know what I'm saying? And become bigger than what they are. You know, and when it comes down to music, for example, I've seen several independent artists that have fucking blown up independently without depending on that fucking big money green machine. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And I appreciate everything you've said, but we're gonna shift directions here a little bit because I'm a fanboy. I'm a big Tupac fan. I'm a big fan of hip hop. And I appreciate everything that you're doing, homegirl. And I'm here. I'm willing to help and contribute in whatever cause you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or in whatever cause that you're trying to provide or, you know, put out there. You know,
I appreciate it.
What I wanted to say is that when it comes on the music, when I heard your name, a lot of people may not know Thug Angel. Back in the days, like 2002, 2001, there was a DVD that they came out with of Tupac. It was called Thug Angel. They came out with a sick ass fucking CD. Yeah. That's the first time I ever heard of that fucking name, Thug Angel. Right?
For sure. I remember that.
And I love that about you. And even the way, I think you have another alias, Nina N9NA.
Yeah.
One of my favorite rappers of all time is Tech 9. And he spells it N9NE.
Right.
So I got to just geek out with the homegirl for a quick second about that. Where did the word Thug Angel, the name Thug Angel and Nina come from?
Nina was my name in the hood. Thug Angel came after Nina.
And Nina, you always spelled it the same?
I spelled it the same. Only because I always packed a 9.
That's right.
That's, you know, and that's just straight up. Everybody, you go run my name on the block. I was active as fuck on the block during my younger years, but only because, you know what? I was pushing. I was hustling, and I needed extra income to protect my family, to provide for my family, you know. And as people know within our communities, these 9-to-5s don't cut it. And my sons were in private schools. They were in football and boxing. And, you know, I wanted to provide a better life for them outside of that. But yeah, my name Nina from the streets came directly because of that. And not only that, because I don't play around. I don't play around with my name. I don't play around with my money. I don't play around with my business. I always been strictly business, straight. And a lot of people will confirm that. I don't even need to speak on my name. The streets will speak for me. That's straight up. And then after that, I started coming into the music industry as Nina, you know, and I always had love for Pac. You know, and then I got the opportunity to work with Pac's people, and that's where Thug Angel was born. So, you know, then I love both my names. You know, they're like, what's it going to be, Nina or Thug Angel? You know, and then, like, I lean more towards Thug Angel because who wouldn't? Yeah. I don't know, because, you know, in the sense, I am Thug Angel. You know, I am a thug and I am an angel. That's right. I do represent the streets. I've always been a winner. I roll with myself, all for myself. Every move I made was for my family, done by myself, you know. And then I have my angel side where I go and advocate for my people. I do more than that. I'm educated, you know. So it's two sides to one individual, so the name fit perfectly. You feel me? And then I have the credentials to speak what I talked about, and going back to conversation where, for example, people were trying to say you better apologize to the indigenous community because you're not a main speaker. Based on my credentials, I am a main speaker because I'm the president. I win elections. I go and speak for my people. I stand up and speak for one of the biggest problems we have that not many people speak on about. And that's where Thug Angel came from, and I deserve my name. Not a lot of people could come walk around and say, hey, I'm Thug Angel, I'm the female Tupac, unless you about it, unless you a dope-ass artist, unless you want some politics shit, unless you made some impactful changes. I live by thug law and the thug life.
That's right.
That's all I know. And only, it's the type of shit that can't be taught. The people in the streets gonna know what I'm talking about. This some street shit.
Exactly. And you're smart as fuck. You have your head on your shoulders, and I could relate a lot to you because I say no. Like we touched on a lot of topics right now in which on paper or just on the surface, a lot of motherfuckers that don't know will be like, oh, who the fuck is this for? But there's some shit that I say no to. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's some shit that you say no to. For those motherfuckers that are watching, you know who I've said no to. I'm just saying. So we know what time it is. And I appreciate that about you. And I'm looking forward to listening to more of your shit. By the way, Outlaws, I know you made a fucking a video with them. Dude, I used to fucking buy all their CDs when they'd release them on the spot on their release date.
Shout out Noble.
Shout out to Noble, Idi Amin, Napoleon, R.I.P. Gaddafi, and Fatal Hussein,
Right. For sure. Hey, you know what?
Castro.
Those are people you want to be close to only because that's Pac's. That's Pac's.
They're his kids, pretty much.
Yeah, that too. But that's like, as an artist, you leave something behind, and that's what he left behind for representation on some solid shit. The ones that were trained by him. So they like the most important artists in this game. Yeah. To me. So I started working with Back Talk. I worked with you know what? And it goes back because we had conversation about this before. The black industry showed me a lot more love than the brown industry. My people are trying to push me out the door while other cultures are embracing you and showing you love. And there's a lot of hate that goes on with the Chicano rap industry. I'm not even going to front or lie. And I have the credentials today to speak on that because we can't sit here today and say I'm not one of the hardest female artists out there in this game. And my people never showed me no love. But you know who did show me love? The black community. They showed me a lot of love. They didn't have that hate like, oh, we racist against you. You can't come on our platform. If you dope as fuck, they're going to fuck with you. Straight up. And, and that's where I kind of lost a lot of respect within the Chicano rap community because they don't want to see nobody who is better than them do better than them. They're not going to let you level up. They're going to close the door on you. Straight, and that's just pure fact. When we can't sit here today and say it's a lie, man, here I work with great artists. Amazing artists. And I earned my title. I earned my propers. I earned the name stamped on my shit, not only in the rap community, but also on the political level.
What I have to say to that is I've learned I'm seasoned. I'm older, right? Many times you do have to, or I'm going to say I have to approach things with love. You know what I'm saying? If someone's shunning me or showing me a certain way or giving me a certain vibe, I still have to approach them with love.
Fuck love. No, only because you know what? If someone's shunning me, I'm not going to pretend to be fake. I'm going to go take it.
But hear me out.
I'm going to take it.
But if that happens, shame on them. It's not on you.
It's not going to be on me.
That's what I was saying.
I'm not showing. You know what? I try to show love, and I've been show love. And then you know what? People who don't show you love, show them no love. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and fake the funk with you. Nah, fuck that. I'm hungry. I'm going to go take what belongs to me.
And that's what's good.
And if you going to be an obstacle in my way, then I'm going to overcome you.
And that's when you cut motherfuckers off.
Oh, nah, I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to do more than cut them off. You feel me? And not only that, it's just like, because they try to push different type of artists. I better hope your artists come harder than me. Yeah. Because I'm a real hungry artist and I could pull my credentials. And that's what gets people mad. You know what gets them mad is the fact they try to call me out on shit, but I have the paperwork to back up my name. I have the paperwork to talk about what I gotta talk about. It's not arrogance, but you know what? Give me my propers where my propers is due, because I've done a lot for my community.
I think it's crucial to know in whatever the fuck you're doing, motherfucker, you have to have that mentality where like nobody's gonna out hustle me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're getting at. No one's gonna fucking love more than me, fucking work harder than me. And that's what you're getting at.
And this where the game gets dirty, because there's people who do work against you. And if you're going to be an obstacle in my way, you're going to get pushed out my way. And I'm going to come not only after you, I'm going to take what's rightfully mine.
And it's better to fucking unite and make
But they
friends.
don't want unification.
You know
hey, you could try that way. You could try to be civil, but you know what? This is what it is. People invest in artists that they want to see their art, their money, and they want to make their revenue and they paper back. So when another artist comes in that's better than they artist, they're not going to let them in.
They're not.
They're not going to let, they're going to close the door. We're going to push all these people who suck on the platform just to enhance our artists, to make our artists look like they greater than what they is, when there's greater artists out there than them.
And that's why it's crucial to
it's all about revenue and money.
And that's why it's crucial to work in silence until it's fucking game time.
Oh, for sure. Move in silence. But you know what? It's important to educate our people on how the game is run, because if we don't educate them, the younger generations is going to be stuck in the same problems we facing today. And we here to let you know there's haters there. There's people who don't want you to come up in there. You could be better than all they artists, and they don't want you to be better than they artists, because they know you can't be bought and you don't belong to them. So they don't want to lose their money or revenue, so they're going to keep you down.
Be aware of your surroundings.
Oh, for sure. And they not only that, they hire fictional. A lot of the game is fake. They hire fictional artists. They have people who write for other artists. It's a very fake ass game. And that's just speaking on some real shit, because I've been up in this game for years to know a lot of the people who are standing in the platforms today ain't even about the shit they talk about.
Exactly. And
they don't have the credentials or the paperwork to back up what they talk about. And that's where it's important, because the people we do push out on the platform, their job is to influence our people and to guide our people the right way. And they need to have the paperwork to talk about what they talk about, the experience talk about what they talk about. And that's what the game is lacking, because it's all mediocrity at their finest and youngsters.
Exactly.
We need the OGs to step up and speak.
Exactly. And that's why we're here.
Right.
I'm not saying
and as an artist, I am.
You're young.
I am. No, people do call me OG. I'm a veteran in this game, for sure. That's an honor.
Yeah.
That's an honor.
I was just trying to be funny, homegirl, because you're all worked up.
No, but it's an honor. It's an honor that, trust me, eventually we all grow. And I don't want to be a youngster my whole life. I don't want to be, directing my people the wrong path. These are words of an OG.
It's a blessing to be seasoned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and a lot of motherfuckers don't know that. And to close it out, before I go into other stuff, before we close out, what's the best piece of advice you give people right now?
Let me see. I want to give some good advice. Give me a second. You feel me? I want to, because every podcast I go on to, everyone asks me that question. I want to make sure I give different advice every time instead of just repeating myself, So, my advice would be, every artist was first an amateur, and every great person once first had a mentor first. You can't be great without it. So to be able to achieve these levels of greatness, you got to learn by great people, and to follow your dreams and be successful in this game, you got to be dedicated and committed to who you are and be true to yourself. Be true to yourself to a point where people, if they're going to try to pull your cards and question your credibility, they can't, because you are who you talk about. And to share your experience through your music and through your song is important, and make sure what you spitting is truth and is pure fact, because people are listening. And along with the power of influence, music's a powerful tool. It comes with the power of influence. It comes with the huge responsibility to our people. So don't be feeding bullshit to our people. It's time to uplift our people. It's time to bring our people out of the mud to showcase how great we truly are. You feel me? It's like the diamond in the rough. Be the diamond in the rough, you know? And it's just be you. Be you at all times. And that'll probably be my advice, especially as a female artist. And another advice for the female artist is don't fall for this propaganda. You know, come and be a true female artist and lead our girls the right way. Because like me and like the homegirl Sinclair, we ain't out there doing the type of shit other female artists is doing, because we just trying to showcase our raw talent. We have talent. And a lot of females today don't got talent. So what they do is they walk around half naked. You know, so just be true to yourself. Be true to your art. And be true just to what you represent. Because you know what? We all shine. Everything comes to light. You feel me? And you don't want to be one of the ones who gets caught in the dark.
That's deep. That's
straight up.
That's
and
right.
That would be my advice. And I tried.
Well, hey, you made me break a sweat and I wasn't even talking.
I'm sweating over here. I tried, you know, but it is what it is, you know.
If you want to give any shout outs, how can we get a hold of you? How can we support your movement? Go ahead. Now's the time.
You could go ahead and follow me, Thug Angel 626. You know, I want to give a shout out to Back Talk Entertainment, Empire Records. Shout out to my son CPOC, all the juveniles holding it down. Shout out to Youth Justice LA, all our community-based organizations. Shout out to all our people who are going on the front lines, making a difference for our community, speaking up to bring change and bring education and programs to our prison system. Shout out to the real ones out there doing real work. Shout out to the ones who ain't pushing our kids and funneling them down the school to prison pipeline. Shout out to the ones who aren't misguiding our culture. Shout out to the real ones, because all the real ones will stand behind everything I got to say. And it is what it is. And that's it.
That's it. Hey.
That's it.
Hey, thank you.
One love, one thug.
That's right. Hey, we'll catch y'all next time. Thank you. That's it.
West Side.